Good morning and welcome to another GodPonder. I'm Pastor Craig McCord from Peace Lutheran Church in Arlington, and this morning I'm drinking a little Highlander grog. That's good stuff. It's snowing lightly here in Arlington. The birds are happy at the feeder, and it's a great day. I was looking through the news this morning and lots of interesting stories. I'm kind of a space techno nerd guy, and so I was looking at some of the new rockets that NASA's getting ready for the moon launch program, and one that they've got now in orbit of the moon that went out a while ago and has been doing some research and has now come back and is now in a low orbit of the moon, and how exciting that is to see us going back to the moon. But that's really not what I want to talk to you about today. It just happened to be on my mind as I got started this morning, and that's part of the joy of this. We just get to talk. This morning, I have a question for you. Who are you in Christ? Remember that moment in Jesus' ministry where it comes to the disciples and he said, "So, who do people say that I am?" And they say, "Well, some say you're Elijah, some say you're one of the other prophets." Um, and then finally he says to him, "No, what about you? Who do you say that I am?" Well, today the question is, who are you in Christ? See, we're different than we are outside of Christ. We are in Christ, we're something different. In fact, I was just listening to a song that actually prompted some of this thought before we got started this morning, by Kane, and the song is "I'm So Blessed," and there's two lines in the song that says, "On my best day, I'm a child of God. On my worst day, I'm a child of God." Right? Who we are in Christ isn't dependent on the mood we're in or what kind of day we're having. It's dependent on who Christ is and what He's done for us. Um, this weekend, I'll be preaching from Colossians, a great book, great book. In fact, Colossians and Ephesians are the two books that I've written studies about. Colossians is the one I'm revamping right now. We're redoing the study, adding some more content to it. I'm adding a leader's guide, which was not present in the first one. But in Colossians, listen to these words from Colossians 1, starting at verse 9. "And so from the day we heard, we have not ceased praying for you, asking that you may be filled with the knowledge of His will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding, so as to walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to Him, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to His glorious might, for the endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father, who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of His saints in light. He has delivered us from the dominion of darkness and transferred us to the kingdom of His beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins." Paul says, I'm praying for you in Colossae that you would really get to know who Christ is, that it would become more evident in your life, even in your walk, that people would see this is a child of God. And I love what he says here, to remind us who we are in Christ. He has delivered us from the dominion of darkness and transferred us into the kingdom of His beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. He doesn't say He's nudging us towards the kingdom. He doesn't say that He's hoping someday we'll get out of the darkness. No, He said He's transferred us from this darkness into the kingdom of light. We are children of God. And if you want to know how exciting that is to be a child of God, think about being an heir of everything. The portion we're going to be looking at this weekend in our service is the preeminence of Christ. There's nothing in this world, in this universe, outside of the preeminence of Christ. In fact, there's nothing in all of creation over which Christ cannot say, mine. he can claim it. Now, we're his heirs. We've been brought into that kingdom. Even on our worst days, we're still a child of God. On our best days, we're a child of God. The section I read from Colossians 1, starting at verse 9, that's a great prayer. You can pray that over your children. You can pray it over your neighbors, over your family, over your friends. You pray that they would walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work, increasing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, for the endurance and patience with joy, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of the saints of light. You are a child of God. That's good news. That's exciting news. Even if you're stuck drinking tea this morning, you're still a child of God. And a good cup of Highlander grog reminds me I'm a child of God. I've been called out of the darkness into his light. I like how First Peter writes it when he says, God has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. His marvelous light. Once you were not a people, now you are a people. Once you were far from God, now you are near to God. Right? That's that switch that's taken place. So I hope you recognize your place today. Who are you in Christ? You're a child of God, heir of all eternity, child of the light, no longer living in darkness, no longer wandering around without purpose in this world. No, you are a holy priesthood, a royal nation, a people belonging to God, that you might declare the praise of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. He has delivered us from the dominion of darkness and transferred us into the kingdom of his beloved Son, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. And then keep reading. Go ahead, go to Colossians today, read chapter 1, especially that section starting at verse 15 on the preeminence of Christ. And remember that you're his child. That'll set your hair on edge. Well, you have a great day. You be blessed. We continue to gather in Operation Christmas Child boxes here at the church today. It was so fun to watch them come in yesterday, and I'm sure more will be coming in all days this week. So you have a blessed week. You're a child of God. On your worst day, you're a child of God. On your best day, you're a child of God. Yeah, go ahead, look up that song, Cain, I'm so blessed. Well, I'm so blessed, I have to go. We'll talk to you later. See ya.